Welcome to the Startup Grind.
What does that mean? A legendary entrepreneur? Give us some characteristics of that, or what attributes do these people have?
Yeah, so there are a couple things. So first of all, I think a lot of people who start companies, just like a lot of people who invest, are just kind of doing startups. And that's different from saying, I'm going to do something that's going to make a fundamental difference. So part of it's just a state of mind, right? But part of it as well is a set of thought habits. So, the metaphor I like to use is the difference between Newton and Einstein. So Newton came up with a set of theories of physics that are fairly intuitive. Like if I drop this microphone, I won't do that, but if I were to drop this microphone, it will accelerate according to time squared, right? But, when Einstein came up with the general theory of relativity, people kind of thought he was smoking weed, right? You couldn't prove Einstein's theories in a lab. In fact, the term thought experiment came from Einstein. Imagine an elevator's traveling at the speed of light upstairs, right? So in fact, the general theory of relativity was proved, I think, I could be wrong a little bit on the history here, but like 7 years after he postulated it, and they had to have some boat out in the middle of the ocean, and there was some kind of an eclipse, and where the sun ray is going to bounce, and if they bounce here, Newton was right, if they bounce there, Einstein was right, and that was what made Einstein world famous, was his theory was basically proven that day. Because otherwise, there was like 5 people in the world who could even make sense of what he was saying. So how does that apply to entrepreneurship? Most entrepreneurs tend to gravitate to the ideas that are linear. They tend to gravitate to ideas that involve reasoning by analogy. They tend to gravitate to ideas that make intuitive sense. And one of the things that I've learned about the really great entrepreneurs is they tend to think exponentially. And none of us think exponentially as part of our intuition. We drive to work every day, we brush our teeth every day, we comb our hair every day, we do those things every day. Those are linear activities. And so everything we know about this world we live in is linear. Everything about the genes in our bodies and their experience growing up to this point as a species is linear. But, like Evan Williams, I was really lucky, but one thing he said really resonated with me at the time. He said, I figure that if 1 million people write blogs, maybe 10 million people would write microblogs. And if that's true, then the burden of proof is going to be on the people who are negative. And so, Reid Hoffman was the first person I ever met who talked in terms of a rhythm of doublings. I'm going to double my user base every 6 weeks for 18 months. And so Elon Musk, this is my favorite example. So Elon Musk says, I'm not a faster, more efficient version of NASA. His insight's more profound than that. He says 0.3% of the cost of a rocket is fuel, and the rest of it gets burned up because it doesn't come back. So what if I made a reusable rocket? I could make space travel 100 times more cost effective if I could do that. And so the fundamental thing I've seen in the great entrepreneurs is they have an exponential insight. And if I were to reduce the task of a great entrepreneur to a simple sentence, it would be, how am I leveraging a current change in technology that follows Moore's law to create an exponential outcome that's one of the 10 best companies of the year? And that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm in it for. And, I'm probably wrong more often than I'm right, but when I'm right, I'm spectacularly right.